Thank you for taking the time to watch our informational video on Chocolatey for Automate. We'll start out with a fresh install of C4A. Next, we will launch the Global Manager from the Tools menu. The plugin will come loaded with some of the basic packages available in Chocolatey. They are in your global list, but not approved for any clients. They will also have no version numbers available until you have completed the configuration of a client, and that client has had time to process Chocolatey. I'm adding a new package to the global list, 7-zip for WinGet repositories. I can approve this package at the client level for each of my clients that will be using WinGet as a package manager over Chocolatey. The package has been added to our list. I can now click the package icon to bring up the package menu. Here I can do several things like install the package globally or delete the package. You have the option to deploy a Chocolatey MSP license file to agents that are enabled for Chocolatey. This is completely optional and not required to use Chocolatey commercially. But if you want to unlock more of the Chocolatey features at the agent level, then you can manage that here. If you want to operate a source repository or you may be using a third-party repository, then you can add that to the Global Manager under the Add Repo button. By default, Chocolatey will use the community repo, so you do not have to configure a repository. Otherwise, when adding a repo, make sure to have a valid username and password and make sure to make it active so it's deployed to your agents. That's the Global Manager in a nutshell. Now, let's close the Global Manager and open a client. Find and select the Chocolatey for Automate tab. It will load with 0 agents in the enabled agent list. Select the Enable Workstations checkbox to enable the agents under this client. Now, let's talk about what happens next. I am now going to hop back over to the Control Center, and I will open an agent console under the client I just enabled. Once the console is fully loaded, navigate over to the agent's EDFs. You will want to select the Chocolatey group of EDFs. This is where the sausage is made. The agent EDFs do several things from initiating functions to showing you where in the process the agent is. You can adjust several of the EDFs if you want an agent to reprocess a function. You may wish an agent to install the approved applications. Checking the Auto Install Approved Applications box will tell Automate to process this function. Once the Automate host completes the task, it will check the Approved Applications Installed box, letting you know it has completed that task. Let's talk about tasks. Tasks have prerequisites that have to be met before the task can happen. An example of this is with scanning for installed packages. Before this function can happen, several other functions must have completed. First, Chocolatey must be enabled for the agent. Next, Chocolatey must be installed to the agent. Then the agent can be scanned for currently installed packages. We use groups, searches, and scripts to perform a task. The agent will join different groups as it performs different functions. An example of this shown here, there are no agents available in the main group. This is because our agents have not completed the functions required to join the main group yet. We can see this by opening the search and looking at what the search is looking for. In this case, our search is looking for agents to be enabled and Chocolatey to be installed. This tells us that our agents are still at the installed Chocolatey phase. Let's go find the group that manages that function. Under the Chocolatey for Automate group are several subgroups. We are looking for the Deploy Chocolatey group. The only requirement to be a part of this group is being enabled and not having Chocolatey already installed. We can see all our enabled agents are currently in this group. Once the agents have processed the script that is assigned to this group, they will have Chocolatey installed. This will disqualify the agent for this group, and the agent will leave the group. The agent should now qualify for the main group. The main group runs scans daily, on the next available cycle, the agent will scan for packages. After our coffee break, we come back to the group's manager, and we will see that some of our agents, the online ones, have left the group and are now in the main group. At this point, they will start getting scans completed, which populates the agent's package data and master versions for the approved applications in the repository. Having groups manage the scanning of agents allows you to control how often agents are scanned. Locate the Scheduled Scripts section. Here you can adjust how often scans take place. By default, we have set this to once a day. This may be a bit too slow for your environment. Bumping it to once per hour will speed up the data collections on agents and keeps the data fresher. Until the first of the agents have completed at least one scan, you will have null values for versions in your global approved applications list. Now that our agents are in the main group and have successfully been scanned, we can see that we have valid version numbers in our global applications list. Let's have a look at our agents in the Chocolatey client console. We can see that data is starting to come in for online agents. Online agents are represented by the small red and green dots beside each of the agents' names. Green for online and red for offline agents. Offline agents will process functions and move through the groups and will end up in the main group as they become available to each of the group's scheduled scripting. Selecting an agent will reveal its current package status. In our example here, agents have several pre-existing Chocolatey packages installed that we have not directly approved for this client. This is okay for us. They are leftovers from a previous example. Agent logs are collected daily if they exist for that day. We only import logs that have an error key in the log. This saves a lot of space in the Automate's SQL environment. While I'm here, let me approve these packages for this client. Select the Approve Apps button, then double-click any package you want to enable. There, I've now enabled 7-zip and curl applications for automatic install. But before Automate starts to do that, we will need to turn on the Automated Installs function. But first, we should set a schedule for our automated updates. Select the Set Schedule button to open the scheduler. You have 3 options: daily updates, weekly updates, or monthly updates. Set how often and when you want updates to take place. Now, you find the Auto Install Application checkbox at the top of the console. Selecting this will enable the auto install of applications approved at the client level for all agents. Let's go revisit our agent console. You can refresh your EDF view and then review the agent's current status. When we scroll down, we can see that the EDF for Auto Install Approved Applications is now checked. However, the Approved Applications Installed is unchecked. This means that the agent will join the Auto Install group, and when completed it will update the EDFs. A good rule of thumb is allow new clients 24 to 48 hours for their agents to process all the functions. Come back and check the agent's logs to see if there were any problems. I hope this quick introduction to Chocolatey for Automate helps jumpstart your application management. Visit us in the forums at support.pluginsforautomate.com.